Oh my goodness. Welcome to another week of LinkedIn Lives. Hi,
You
Jen.
sound so very surprised. Hello, Eileen. Happy
Right?
Monday. Is it Monday?
Happy-
It is Monday, right? Yeah, it's
It
Monday.
is Monday.
Happy
It
Monday.
definitely is. Yeah, the shorter week definitely threw me for a loop
Yeah,
this morning.
it felt like every day was Monday. I couldn't figure out what was happening when. All
Right?
good. All good.
It definitely is. It definitely is. But it's good to be back, obviously, with you. And we've already started our day, which has been
Yeah.
wonderful, and getting things going. So I want to welcome those of you who are tuned in today. You'll definitely be in for some laughs for sure, because that's definitely where we're at. So,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
and anyone that's joining us later, hopefully this is just as entertaining for you. So. um so gosh, I mean, Jen, we only have this is the last week of not Thanksgiving, of November.
Last
What's
week of Thanksgiving. Yes.
yeah, of
Yes. There's that.
November,
Yeah.
and we've got a month left of the year.
I know. Yeah, I know. It seems so goofy. Like everybody always says, "Oh, time goes so fast." I mean, you meet someone in a store and you're, "Hi, how are you?" "Oh gosh, you believe it's already November?" I mean, we all say these weird things, right?
Totally.
Okay, yeah, we all say the same stuff, and time moves quickly, but
Yeah.
time moves no more quickly than time moves. All
True.
right, we're done here.
That's our
Just
so
sit with that
our
for a minute. No, I thought about this last week, honestly, because someone had said that to me. I don't remember where it was. I was walking somewhere, and someone was talking about. Well, I was in a store. I wasn't just walking outside. That sounded weird. I was walking in a store, and someone was like, "Gosh, can you believe it's already Thanksgiving next week?" And I turned around. I was like, "Well, yeah, I know. It's crazy how it's already here, and then it's the end of the year, and then we parted ways." And I was like, "What?" It's so strange because we all say the same thing. It's like our common thread with each other, right? That we talk about that links us together is how fast time goes. But I don't think time moves fast. Time doesn't move any different than time has always moved. We are moving faster.
Interesting.
So there's that. And that really struck me last week. So I don't know what just made me start rambling on that, but maybe that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
I
But
feel like it is a whole other conversation
but
for you.
I think that's the truth. I think there's something to be said about that, right? It's like, where does the time go? No. What are we what are we wasting or spending our time on
Yeah.
that makes us feel like it wasn't worthy,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
fascinating to me. I feel like we don't blink. It was just like,
Yeah. And who you're with and all of the things. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, for, well, I think you and I have talked about this a little bit before, but my dad says that time is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes.
Yep. And so there's that too. We'll leave
So
you
there's
with
that
that,
too.
folks.
Just if one would like to share that, please do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I
But
think
yeah,
Well, I was
go
just
on.
gonna say, I think this time idea though kind of gets us into what we're gonna talk about today.
It
Like
definitely
how fast time goes and what we do with it.
It does. And so that's, as like you said, we're talking about the big why. And that's all about where we're putting our time and attention
Yeah.
and when we're really thinking about what that big why is and have that defined for ourselves, how that can change things.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
yeah, no, I'm excited about this. You and I talk about this a lot, so it's really
Yeah.
fun to be able to kind of share some of this. But when we're talking about it, it's like, do you have one? Have you even had a chance
Yeah.
or taken the opportunity to come up with yours, right? But how often are we on the tracks of life
I
and
was just thinking that, like, how many whys could you have, right? It's I think I've had
Many.
many. But no, you're right. You're absolutely spot on. Like, do we take the time? I mean, that's this whole idea
Oh
of
boy,
I've now lost.
you have. We've gone off the tracks.
This whole idea of time. I don't know. I find it funny today.
So I will say, for anyone who's listening right now, one of our favorite things is just finding joy
Yeah.
in what we do, and the belly laughs have been real over the past few weeks, and I'm so
I'm
grateful.
sorry. This is not a show either. This is like this is how we meet almost every day. Something just sets one of us off, and then forget it. It's like off to the races we go.
Yeah, totally. And it can be either.
It's kind of amazing that we get things done though, and very proficiently.
Yeah.
But we have fun with it. So sorry.
You do. No,
You laughed along. I don't know. Or you're like, what is wrong with these people? Yeah. So do you have one? I mean, I think that's the question of the day. Do you have a why?
Yeah.
And so let's define it. What is a why?
What is that?
I remember hearing a long time ago.
Oh dear.
Yeah. My why is to laugh every day.
It is.
Clearly.
Well, in your principle of light, humor
yes.
is the H. So
so there's that. No, I remember. I can't. I remember a long time ago. I don't even.
oh my
Go ahead, ask me what's so funny, because I don't even know.
Please.
This is the problem.
No.
It's like when you just lose it and you just can't bring it back. Oh my gosh.
You've officially brought me in. I was holding it together.
I've gone to plaid. Oh, I'm done. Put a fork in me. And it's only Monday. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
But I mean, how joyful to start the week like this, though.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just no, I'm not gonna apologize for that.
No.
Could be worse, right? Okay, let me reel this in. So I remember studying about why and why it was so important.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing, I don't remember, I was at like a training or something, and this was a long time ago, but I remember hearing these words. If it feels right in your gut, go with it.
Mm.
And then I remember hearing right after that, he said, your why is the thing that you feel, that gut, the burning in your gut, that kind of fire in your belly, the reason your feet hit the floor every morning. Let it be that. And that has stuck with me.
Yeah.
And so I truly believe part of my why of like existing is to laugh, is to find joy in nothing. Because clearly I don't know what just set me off, but it just happens. I don't know. It's just part of my human condition that I'm going to stop apologizing for, actually. Because it is what it is, except when you're, where you're not supposed to be laughing, like in church or at a funeral. I don't know, all of those things. Like there's moments that maybe aren't really a great spot. But I also grew up as the daughter of a Episcopal priest, later became a bishop. and we were known to shake the pew.
Yeah.
My whole family would be,
Mm,
because that's who we are.
yeah.
And it was all okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I also think it's a continuous journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a continuous exploration to find what those things are, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
what is the thing? What is that fire in your belly? What's the thing that gets you up every day and makes you want to put your feet on the floor and go?
Yep.
You know, if you don't have that, it's really easy to pull the covers over your head, you know, when it's raining out or it's cold or you just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah. Well, and like you and I have talked about, even if you look back on, for example, your story, right? It's shifted through the years. You've had experiences of life that have either guided you in another, not necessarily full, change of direction, which can also happen. But it
Yeah.
has helped inform where that's gone and how that's shifted and changed or made your why even more specific
For
and
sure.
understood that more clearly, and being open to that, right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be just because you've decided something at 15, 16 years old, which
Yep.
I never did, but that's
No. Like 15, 16. Yeah, I don't know what
some people like at that
nothing good, I'm sure.
Oh boy, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But maybe you're still questioning that at
Mhm.
65, 70, 80, right?
Yeah.
None of that's wrong either,
Right.
right? It doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just, there can be this entire exploration
Yeah.
throughout your life.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. I think believing that we've arrived is not ever a good thing to ever believe.
Mm-mm.
We haven't. I don't think you get there ever. I think there should always be a healthy, continuous exploration of staying curious as to
Yeah.
what is that thing? What does
Mm-hmm.
make me feel alive?
Right.
I think that's so important.
I mean, I certainly just felt alive, very alive, right?
Yes.
Yes. But it's funny because one of the things that we talked about and like one of the things we want to talk through is what brings you joy. Literally, it is one of the pieces that we wanted to talk about, and to how easy it is to fall into the patterns of what has to get done and removing that childlike mind. Like that is a part of
you
what
just witnessed it here, friends. I mean, right? Yeah. This is how we get things done, though, right? Like you and I just like something funny comes out of our mouth, or we say something wrong, or like something like we mush words together
all the time.
Yes.
I do it all the time.
And it's one of those things that it's just, we can, burst into this hilarious laughter and still be getting things done. Like it's not one or the other. It's not, we don't have to be exclusive with happiness when we're doing work. And that's the part where it's like, come on, so many places, so many companies, so many toxic environments, so many places of, I don't know, of work and of it just doesn't feel authentic to me. And maybe that's why I do what I do the way I do it.
Yeah.
Because I want authenticity. I want something that feels real and genuine. And you know what? If you show up today and you are in tears because you're really feeling it, you're allowed to be in tears because you're really feeling it. And we pause everything, don't we?
Yeah.
And we talk through it. And we sit with each other. I mean, we've done that. Our team does that. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And if we're not practicing that, but we're out trying to talk about it and teach other people, that's not authentic. That's not integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Those things don't match. So we live that out. And that's really important. And that's, I think, a prerequisite here with us, right? Is that we embody that. And, I think that also brings up this idea of, how we always talk about our values and our non-negotiables and the things that are most important to us. That's how you figure out what that why is. You lean into those, and you lean on the people around you who can help you find those easier, right? You have there, there's a support system there. It's not, again, we're not meant to do this alone. That's not why we're here. And so how can we connect with each other in those moments and make that part of why we show up every day?
Yeah.
Let me help you figure that out. I mean, what a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be a part of,
Totally. Yep. Well, and some of this too, when you go back to, there was this study that was done. I have to look back on when it was, but when you look up creativity levels, like, right, we're talking about this childlike mind.
Yep.
You're talking about creativity levels, and they did this. They have this NASA test, this creativity test that they've done with NASA scientists, right? And they use that for testing children over the course of, so they tested them at age 5, age 10, 15, and then adults. So, and they tested the amount or the percentage of these scores at genius levels, right? And so age 5, 98% of 5-year-olds tested at genius levels of creativity.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
And if you're talking about innovation, if you're talking about all of these things we want in to move businesses forward, to move ideas forward.
And the things we're looking for in the people we want to hire, right?
Right.
Yeah. But that has to exist.
Correct.
That culture, that idea, that feel has to be there in order to hire those people.
Yep.
They're not going to come into a place that is going to dull that.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And it goes into this convergent and divergent thinking and all of those. I mean, that, again, that could be a whole other
totally
topic of conversation, but yeah, it's we found joy, and what child doesn't also go through the day of discovery and seeing those things from a very pure perspective, and then have that be able to excite you in a way that brings up new ideas and new ways of thinking.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's everything. And again, when you can laugh, you're getting closer to that space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I know we kind of talked about the values, and you've talked a little bit about the light principle. Maybe even just to share a little bit more on that. Just, that's one of the things we talk about in our course too. So we don't want to do all of it, but at the same time, to understand the importance of having that and taking the time to get to what that is, and how that can kind of change your view on life, and then it brings you to your why.
Yeah, I think when I first started talking about values and understanding non-negotiables and what those things are, and your non-negotiables are the things that you don't compromise for anybody. These are your morals, your ethics, your beliefs. Like, these are the things that you hold sacred. And so I really sat and thought about that for a while, and I wanted to be really clear with myself so that I could help other people figure out what that was for them. And I remember it was before I did, I think it was my second TEDx talk, and my topic was light, L-I-G-H-T, because I sat and I really thought about, what is that thing for me? What pulls on that place for me that feels like these are non-negotiables for me. This is who I am at the core. This absolutely ties into my why. This is, vision, mission, and purpose. All of these things tie into each other for me. And I wanted something at the center of that. So I sat down and really played with this, and I came up with light, the light principle, L-I-G-H-T. It stands for love, integrity, gratitude, which we've talked about. It used to be honor. I used the H, but I have evolved that very easily because I clearly believe that humor is such a big piece of who we are. And the T is truth. And so those 5 words for me have become, yeah, this feels right. This is who I am. And at the core of me, this is what I want to bring to the table. This is how I want to show up every day, because when I'm doing that, I'm showing up as my best and truest and most authentic self.
Mm.
And when I do that, I know that I'm bringing my best to those around me as well.
Yep.
And that's my why, right? It's to bring those things into the world and to, I remember when I was given the 2009 Female Business Leader of the Year award with the local chamber here. And I remember having to give a thank you speech. And I remember saying, I'm not sure why you chose me. Like all of these female CEOs of these big companies, and I ran an athletic training center. Okay, cool. But, when I was younger, and like, why me? And they said, because of what you give back to the community, number one. But number two, we heard you in a very bold statement say that you wanted to positively affect 1 million people in your lifetime. I said, yes, I said that. And, a lot of people thought that was funny. They didn't, but other people did. You can't measure that.
Right.
You can't, that's not a SMART goal, right? You can't measure it. It's not, there's no time attached. Like, what's the point if you're never going to know when you get there? And I said, if I mess that up by 99%,
Right.
did I do something? And they
Right.
were like, yeah, okay, fair point.
Yeah.
So that has been my mission and my goal since 2008 when I started that. And that became my why. And so through that was really, anchoring into this light principle of what is it that I'm trying to bring?
Yeah.
How am I trying to positively affect other people? And part of it was through that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any specific word for it. I love that, I mean, it's so clear. It's so clear. And as we talked about before, revise when necessary, right?
Yes.
Each changed.
Yep.
And it's not wrong. That's not wrong in any way, shape, or form, right?
I have to say that whole idea of kind of revise when necessary. It's funny. Someone had said, how do you know when you get there? And I remember I was speaking to a group of young 13-year-old girls. They were softball players, and a dad and a coach hired me to come down deep into Maryland to come to their house for a softball event and to talk to these young girls and to help them find confidence and all of those things. One of the things I love to do. And so I went, this was years and years ago. It was around the time when I actually proclaimed that as kind of, this is what I want to do with my life. And I remember I said that, and the one girl raised her hand really quickly, looking right at me. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And she looked up and she goes, well, I think you're probably already there. And I looked down at her and I was like, what makes you say that? She's like, well, because when I saw you last, so they had seen me speak at another event. She said, I came home and told like 3 of my friends about some of the things you said. And I know that they told some of their friends. And so, exponentially, you probably already got there. It's just 13. And I was sitting there and that, like, truly, I thought, whoa, that's very smart. Yeah. And that's the point of all of us, of anything that we do. We are so connected to each other in ways we'll never know. Right. And so our why deeply affects other people.
Right. Yeah.
What's your why, Eileen?
Oh gosh. Thanks a lot on
Sorry.
that one.
Well, I know you have big, audacious desires and goals and intentions. And
yeah.
What's one of them?
Yeah, I mean, for me, and we were actually just talking about this because I was watching the movie Wish. And for me, it is helping people find that light that exists within them,
Yeah.
and shining it. I'm not going to swear on this at all, but shining it brightly for everyone else to see.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because that's been, yeah, I know, right?
Benson.
Someone's on board.
He's like, yes, I hear you, girl.
Yeah.
No, I love that so much. And I think, what a beautiful thing to be sharing with the world, So, maybe we ask you, what is your why?
Hmm.
Do you have one? And if not, sit and think this week.
Yeah.
And figure out what that is for you, because I think that's, even when it gets hard, that's the thing, that fire in your belly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that, makes your feet hit the floor every morning.
Yeah. Oh, I will leave you all with that. And thank you for making it all the way to the end.
Yeah. Thanks for getting through that with me.
That was a joy. It was a pleasure, honestly, for me.
I still don't know what happened. I really don't.
Well, hopefully you start your week with just as many laughs as we did, and really look forward to seeing everyone again next week.